If this video is a little bit hard to follow, that's okay. This is a little bit of a personal notes video for myself as well, but this is also meant to share with everybody. The idea behind this video is that in order for an idea to be an idea, or a belief to be a belief, or a philosophy to be a philosophy, essentially for a design, for any design to be a design, there needs to be an underlying lack of that which there is. So essentially, you need to incorporate a problem. Like, you could look at that as a problem. Like, not necessarily a problem like somebody, like socking somebody in the face, but a problem like you'd look at 2 plus 2 equals question mark, right? The question mark is the problem, right? Or like the unanswered equation is the problem. Okay, so in order for there to be a working concept, there also needs to be a working problem. You can take something, you can take Rene Descartes, his I think, therefore I am. The underlying concept is that I think, therefore I am, and that establishes a a grounding for establishing other beliefs upon which to build upon, right? But the that's the solution to an underlying problem. The underlying problem is, what can I truly say that I know, right? Like what can I not strip down as merely concept of what I know, right? And so, the entire stripping down of that process leads to I think, therefore I am, as the one surefire thing that you can say that right? Like, it breaks it down that far to that pinpointed of a solution of the philosophy that it surrounds. But the philosophy that it surrounds inhabits a working problem in and of itself, of sorts, right? And so, or take a creating a blueprint for a house, like as an architect or something, right? You'd start with a blank canvas, right? Like, everything everything else is in place. So your client has paid you to make a design. You know what materials they want to use and everything like that, but you don't know where you're going to start until you start, right? And that empty canvas, or that, like, the sheet of paper that the architect uses, it's representative of that. You know, it's representative of you have not started yet, right? And so the solution is the creation itself, right? So, you know, the like and why is somebody paying an architect to design a house for them? Because they need a house. Why do they need a house? Because they have a family that they want to care for, or they want to rent it out so they can make money, so they can start a business, or you know, there's more than one problem being solved by solving these problems, essentially, right? And so like I said, like the problem isn't necessarily, you know, like crime oriented. Like the problem is, you know, just the lack of a solution, right? Like, so you know, like if you think about a watch, right? A watch is very carefully held together all as one piece, and the minute, hour, and second hand all move in a complete circle repetitively, right? Now, if it's all held together all at one point, like, and there's all of those things happening at once, you know, like, it wouldn't work if you welded like one of the little gear pieces to another one of the little gear pieces, you know, then, you know, it would cease to function properly because it would be closed off, right? Like, so, you know, like the mechanism that is like actually allowing for the constant flow of motion in a timepiece such as a watch is, you know, somewhat contributed to the lack of contact with anything, right? And so, you know, it's sort of like, um, uh, this is seemingly an impossible concept, but if you had a tube, and in this tube you could drop a ball in the tube and it would continue falling at the rate that it falls, but it would remain inside the tube, but perpetually dropping as fast as gravity would take it, right? Like, you can't have something falling in one place, right? Like, you could suspend it in one place, but it wouldn't be continually falling per se. Just directionally speaking, it just wouldn't necessarily be falling, right? And so, you know, the idea behind this is that, you know, in order for there to be consistent gear movement, it almost applies that concept of something continually passing through one point, right? And that's sort of, when you break it down, sort of the pattern or the patterning that takes place behind all of these philosophies and belief systems, these religions and ideas that people have and theories and, like all these different concepts, are based on like a model like that, like having this like continually dropping item in one place, right? And that that's sort of like the ink. It's sort of like if you had a piece of paper and you put the ink right on the paper, and the way that you were drawing the design is to spread the ink away from itself in lines with the paintbrush, right? And fill it in differently with the different layers of thickness and everything that like brushes out from the from the point of the spot, right? And the point of the spot wouldn't necessarily have to be right in the middle of the paper, right? Like the paper is sort of like the open-endedness of the ideas, right? And then where you drop the ink is sort of where you centralize the idea, right? Like that's the problem, that you're centralizing it around, right? In order to construct how it would solve that problem so that you can have a working system on the other side that may or may not have anything to do with that problem in the end. It may not be dedicated to only solving that problem, but it would have a dedicated function towards only solving that problem, right? And so it would be a piece of a puzzle at the very least related to solving that problem towards a working system in another direction, right? And this is all using that concept of just like this piece, this one piece that just stays in place all the time, right? That's how like theories become like mathematical, right? So uh, if this video is helpful, please hit a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the channel with anyone you know.